Cesar, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me. Congratulations on 20 years, consecutive years on television. How are you? How are you doing?
I am very happy. I am the healthiest I ever been. My heart is definitely loving fully, and my mind is absolutely clear. So I'm good to go.
So what are some of the keys for you to be able to have this lengthy career, especially talking about consecutive years, talking about 2 decades? What are some of your keys?
I think the honesty, right, is a very genuine, honest. I am from Mexico, so I do come with that vibration of an immigrant who wants to help. I love the quote, "Ask not what the country can do for you, what can you do for the country?" I took it to heart. And so people feel it, right? People feel my common sense or my point of view is definitely can be practiced, can be achieved, and then eventually can be taught, right? Because people need to teach this to their children and to whoever, right? So it's a show that through a dog shows the human energy, the human mind, and the human action. Because a dog doesn't know how to lie and hide nothing for, so he's going to snitch, right? And so eventually the dog will snitch all of those three things out of you. So it makes you responsible. And because the people love the dog so much, they do it, because when I ask my clients, would you change for your husband? No. Would you change for your kids? No. Will you change for your dog? Yes. So it really triggers a transformation, right? And so that's pretty awesome.
No, you bring up a really good point because it's kind of a darker subject, but there's a homeless crisis. And of course, there's resources for a lot of people, but a lot of times they don't want to take those resources because they can't bring their dog with them. So that connection with your pet, it's so with your dog is so important that you would prefer not to take extra help, not to have a place to sleep, than to lose that family member, that companion of yours. Why is that? Why do we latch on so much to these animals?
Beautiful question. And it's because it allows you to practice loyalty. It allows you to practice a responsibility to a family. That is your only family member for a lot of them, right? And so it also teaches you to be pack-oriented versus self-oriented. Like, yes, it's easy to go and have a better place, over there, but you can't bring the family. It's like, no. What makes me a human is to be pack-oriented. What makes me an honorable human being is to be loyal, right? And to show leadership, which is direction, protection, to the family. So a dog can only become the equivalent of a child, right? So you have to practice leadership. So you practice the 2 L's, loyalty, leadership, life. On top of that, you love the dog. So the dog means 4 things: loyalty, leadership, love, life. That place, it only means home or a place to live. But home is nothing without the family.
Yeah, that's very, very well said. Thank you so much for that. Now, obviously, a dog's not going to change over time, but pet owners might.
Some can.
Oh,
It's the opposite.
oh, okay.
The dog will change quicker than the human.
I think what I'm trying to say is kind of, have you seen more? What have you seen from pet owners in your career? Have they changed much from the time that you started to now? What is different nowadays?
Well, it's 20 years. So you mentioned 20 years. Wow. So the thing is, the human needs a lot of repetitions. The dog knows what to do. The human as well, but the human now has to be willing to do it. So you see it. So now the mind has learned new things, and that's what makes the human do the wrong thing. Right? So if I would have raised you, you would do exactly what my kids learn. But somebody raised you and do wrong energy, wrong philosophy, wrong action. Now you're 30 years old. Now you got 30 years of practicing that energy, that philosophy, that action. You see it versus a dog. A dog is not rational. So he'll let go quicker.
Mhm.
The human would attach things without knowing. Right? And then the human would say, no, I'm doing it. And he said, no, you're not. Look at the dog. Yes, I am. Right? And the dog is just honest. It's just, no, I am. Yes, I am. That's it.
Yeah, it's very well way to put it. Some of the things that have changed are some of the ways that we're able to connect with our dogs and to train them. We've spoken before about the Halo. I think we talked about Halo 3. Now we're going over to the Halo 4. With can you tell us a little bit about what's new with it?
Well, we don't just have big dogs. We have little dogs with the same problem, right? Running away, or people with little dogs are more afraid to expose them, right?
Mhm.
And so if you have already feared to expose a big dog before whatever the dog can do, a little dog is going to receive more fear from the human, so they're going to isolate it more, right? So that little dog might go to places more often than the big dogs because they can carry them, but that dog is not experiencing life the way it should. So we wanted to make sure that all dogs, no matter what size they are, they experience follow, play, explore, right? They have the same rules, boundaries, limitations. They're citizens of the world. So if they know the same things, they're going to be able to be social, right? And so if you can ask a dog, hey, what do you think you come to Earth? What, to walk it? So I can meet different smells and different sights and different sounds, right? So it's not to be in a car, it's not to be in a bag, it's not to be in a home. That's being, put away. It's like, where is the freedom? You see it? So we want the dog to experience the true freedom of Mother Nature. And how do you do it? Well, when you walk with the dog, when you play with the dog, when you explore with the dog. And some people want to do it at the beach. Some people want to do it in Yellowstone. Some people want to do it in whatever. So that way we can provide the rules, bounds, limitations, because the truth is people are not consistent with the rules, bounds, limitations. You see it? So then technology doesn't think. Technology just does what you tell them to do, right? And that's it, just simple. Pa, 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 pa. So that way you have, it's almost like having a pack member. When I rehabilitate a dog, I'm not the only one rehabilitating the dog. The members of my pack is making sure that dog knows the rules by limitations, right? And so my pack does it. So even if I'm not around, I leave that dog with the pack will remind the rules by limitations. So a lot of people only have one dog. And so how do we achieve the same with the color? The color is so smart that it reminds the dog the rules, boundaries, limitations. And that to me is smart.
Yeah, it really opens the world for them. And now it's really important to note that you don't need Wi-Fi for it. You can track your dog everywhere, so you don't have to worry about being connected to a phone or being tethered to a modem or anything like that. It really opens up that freedom, like you're talking about, correct?
That is the genius of my partners, right? My genius is instincts, right? And then I put it to the technology. Those guys are amazing. So to be able to have that is all props for them. But definitely the color has that capability. So that way you don't need a certain thing in order for the color to work, which I think that's incredible. It's something that I have no idea how it works, but I know it works, right? So it's amazing, amazing that people are not going to be hold hostage to one way.
Yeah, no, and not to feel overwhelmed or maybe there's a word I'm looking for, threatened by the technology. You offered training with it, of course. Can you speak briefly about it on the training?
Well, even when you get a computer, you get training. You're right. Before you go to Apple computer, whatever you get training. You need to know how things work, right? So don't I always before you even walk with a dog, I give you a reason why we walk, how we're gonna walk, how long we're gonna walk, right? So you need to know the know-how, how things work, because you species human, you need to scientifically understand it. So you can use the right feelings, right? Like silence, calmness, confidence, love, joy. Those are the energy feelings. But the human needs to understand how things work. So we make sure it is a very simple way that the people will understand it, even how you put the collar on, what's the state of mind in the dog when you put the collar on. So it's positive association. It's like the dog, every time you put any leash, any collar or anything on the neck. Make sure he feels like you're about to put a gold medal, right? So he's very proud, he comes to it. That's it. And so I teach you how to do that. So that way, whatever you put on is always a positive association because they come to it. A dog has to come to wear the collar. Don't go to it because then the dog feels chased or trapped, right?
Makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
I see
It's
that.
not just the color.
No.
Is you human needs to understand energy, philosophy, actions, and then you buy tools. Don't just buy tools and think that this is going to happen magically.
Yeah, thank you so much for the insight on it on the Halo 4. I know it's going to make a lot of pet owners very, very happy, and a lot of dogs very, very happy, and possibly, make their bond even stronger. And again, congratulations on 20 years on television. That is an amazing feat, and we hope to talk to you again.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, it's good to see you again, and like I said, I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.